Hello, everybody. It's Ken Faulkner. I'm coming to you with another knife video, longer knife video. If you're, you know, paying attention to what's going on, got this new channel over here. Obviously, you found it if you're here, but the old channel is still there, and I'm still able to upload. The account, the Google account attached to it, was disabled by my company. This is an IT thing. You know, we there was a decision to move to another uh, platform, and you know, the reality is that when I started this thing, I didn't think I'd go this far with it, and now I'm kind of deep into it. So you know, it is what it is. I probably, in hindsight, would have started with this channel in the beginning, but you know, it is what it is. And here we are. I'm putting out these little short videos on the other channel because I can still put them out. And the reason why I'm not just continuing to keep the old channel is because now that old channel, I can't do anything with money. So if I'm watching a live and I'm in there on that channel, I can't do super chats. I can't do, you know, memberships. I can't do all kinds of stuff like that because of the fact that I'm what is called a manager over there and not an owner over there. You know, there's a lot of these terminologies and different things that I'm learning about, forced to learn about, and so now I'm learning about it. But as a manager of an account, you really can't do all that you really want to or need to do with your YouTube. I am able to put some videos out on there, but I'm only going to do it for a short while longer. Just trying to help people come over here. I don't want to just kind of, you know, I appreciate you guys so much for watching my channels now, because and because of that, I don't want to just kind of leave you guys in the lurch. I know I've been talking about this for a long time, and there's probably a lot of you thought I was just crying wolf. You know, I was kind of thinking the same thing. IT, you know, they sometimes will do things in their schedule, and I just have to wait. And then, you know, part of me was glad because I would like just having things just the way they are. I'm not a big fan of change, but change happens, and you can't just hide from it. That's the way life is. Speaking of change, I've been doing this thing with my channel. Not always. I mean, there's all kinds of knives that I'm buying and showing, but I'm actively going out. I have like a list of, and I add to the list as I go, and then I cross ones off the list as I go of companies that I think are very cool from seeing them on YouTube, but haven't bought one from them yet. So I am working on that and moving through the list. And it's fun. It's fun because each knife company has different aspects, different things that they do. You know, if they're a budget knife company, if they're a more expensive knife company, a lot of these are probably the more expensive ones, and that's the reason why I haven't bought them yet. But yeah, it's kind of just a fun little thing I'm doing. One of the latest ones that I got also at CCKS, where I bought this one, was that Shirogorov. That was a big surprise to me. And you can see that video on the old channel. Everybody can still see the old channel, but eventually it may go away completely. I have no idea. It may just stay there forever, and I may just stop uploading stuff and start uploading here. I don't know. I still, there's a lot of mystery to me. But this is the first of the Shirogorov, maybe the last, because they are darn expensive knives. But I was surprised that I was able to get this, and you can check out the video where I talk about it. Now on to a new one, Ketuo. Now, I don't know that they've been around that long. I really haven't heard of them for that long. But I have been hearing more and more about them lately on other channels, and they seem to be really cool to look at. And it wasn't on my list, but I saw them there at the California Custom Knife Show. This is the last of the four, as far as videos are concerned, of what I bought there. I had the Shiro, I had the Jack Wolf knives, and I had a Riot knife. Now we got the Ketuo Telson. KT-Telson. I think the KT just means Ketuo. So the brand just has that as part of it. But Telson, I think, is the real name of the model. Knife handle material 6AL4V. I think that's the titanium. I'm not an expert on different titaniums, but I know there are different brands and different qualities, and I don't know where this one fits into that. And then M390, which is obviously a great steel. It used to be the darling of the knife community. Less so since some of the other newer, more fancy ones came out, but still a good knife. And certainly coming from out of states, this is Ketuo has a sales group called Ketuo USA, and so they say from their website that they will ship free inside the USA, and then you try to read through their stuff on the website, and they really don't come forth. They're not forthcoming on where they're made. From a Google search on it, it looks like they're made in Japan. So they got this nice pouch, two-sided. So if you wanted to like ship some knives to a friend to check out, you can put 2 knives in here, close it up, and mail it to them. It does have the usual microfiber cloth, which, man, I'm getting piles of those. I'm always mentioning that, but this is the way it comes in the package. Obviously, I have full disclosure, opened and carried this because that's what I do. I'm too impatient. But anyway, like I said, this was made in Japan, and I've been kind of seeing a few different Japanese knife makers recently. I think it's North Mountain Design, which I showed not too long ago. They make their blades in Japan, and the handles in China, and then they put them together maybe here over in the United States. I'm not really sure, but it's interesting how this is all playing out. Obviously, Chinese knives. In fact, the knives I got at CCKS, 2 of them were China. That's the Jack Wolf and the Riot, both extremely good quality. The Shiro Gurov, obviously, that's a Russian knife, and all Russian. And then here we have a Japanese. As far as I know from the little search that I did, it is all manufactured in Japan. So anyway, yeah, I really like the look of this one. I particularly was fond of the inlay, because I looked at that and I go, what is that material? I don't even recognize that. I mean, it's not like, you know, a lot of people are doing the fat carbon stuff or the G Mascus or, you know, that kind of thing. But this is just like a one color, but it's like so smooth. It's like glass. And I asked the guy, and he says that's zirconium. You know, I've seen knives with zircotai, and definitely that is like seems to be a level up from like the mokotai blades, or not blades obviously, but the handles and handle materials, like little accents a lot of times because it's expensive. But there's a big old piece of zirconium in there, not zircotai, but just zirconium. And I didn't have anything with zirconium in it in my collection, as far as I know. And then the price on this one is like sub 300, is that $200 to $300 range, which is, I know, a lot for some people, but for me that's becoming more comfortable, especially after buying this knife, and some other knives that I have, and so yeah, 285. I like that range, especially when it's a non-USA. It helps me to go ahead and pull the trigger. You know, some of the ones over 300 are making it a little bit harder to buy non-USA made knives for me. Not always, because, you know, like I say, you get some really amazing quality stuff coming from overseas as well. So anyway, it's got that backspacer titanium with Ketuo on it. It's got the titanium with the inlay of zirconium. It's got some incredibly cool milling. Just the whole, like this hollow here, this hollow here. The 3-stripe relief in the lock. It is a frame lock. The shape of the blade, super cool. Not a lot of billboarding here. We do have Telson here, but it's not super easy to see. And I do, for a guy that can't remember names hardly at all. It's kind of nice to have the name on the blade. That way I don't have to depend so much on my spreadsheet. M390 says it right there. And I think there was one more. No, I guess that's it. So very little branding on the blade. Beautiful look. Very fingerprinty though, but that's okay. The clip is very cool. Speed holes. If you're going to have speed holes in a knife, I'm okay with them being on the clip. Clip works really well. It's kind of like rounded there. It's got plenty of room. It's nice, and it looks good. The way they matched up the relief on the lock bar with the milling on the clip, I think, is a nice touch. Just well thought out, and you know, Japanese, you know, culture in general is very much into like the beauty of things. It's, you know, from the samurai days. If you know more about samurais, they, you know, they're tough warriors, swords, whatever, but they also had art as part of their bushido, you know, their code. Art was part of it. I think Musashi, who's like one of the most famous samurais from years back, wrote poetry as well. Yeah, this blade shape, it really reminds me of this guy here. The look, and this is Null Knives Voodoo, and it's kind of got that kind of same kind of feel to it. That just a lot of aesthetics in the knife as well as function, because it functions very well. This thing cuts extremely well. It's flat grind, but it's nice and tall and thin behind the edge, and it's definitely sharp with the factory edge. Maybe we'll get something to cut it with. Those the fullers on there are very nice looking. Not necessarily. Sometimes it's a little hard to get your finger to catch in there because it's a thinner blade, I guess. They're not quite as deep as maybe they would be. And it's not a flat surface here. It's kind of chamfered a little bit down into it, and that gives you that cool artistic look. And also the edges are nice and rounded off, but when it comes to flicking, you want something that's really going to catch your finger. And not as much, but I've definitely gotten used to it, so it doesn't bother me. The jimping's there. It's not super grabby, which is fine. There's some jimping here. This is a little more grabby back here, actually, on the backspacer. Anyway, let's see how it cuts. I think, you know, my girlfriend, she loves it. Every time I get a new knife, that's how she'll get out the piece of paper. Look at that. It just, I think the blade geometry, you know, they say that even more so than the steel, the blade geometry is so important when it comes to sliciness. And this thing just glides through. Super impressive. Well made. Ketuo. You know, it's my first one from them, but I am super impressed. I think it's a great knife. Price is reasonable considering the materials and the build of it. You know, if you got that kind of money to spend on knives, yeah, I'd recommend it for sure. All right, guys. Keep on watching because I'm going to be loading up this channel. I'm kind of excited to be moving on to this new step. I mean, it's a pain in the butt, but you know, sometimes that's what you need is something to kind of push you, and we'll see how we go. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one.